fans of Movie Guys Podcast, to the Ghostbusters Remake 2016, whatever people want to call it, podcast review. And I'm super excited to talk about this. I'm joined with Ed and Eric. How you guys doing tonight?
Balls.
Pretty good. There it is.
Jesus
Sums it
Christ.
up for all of us, I think.
This is a PG-13 movie, Ed. Come on.
Yeah, but our podcasts are not.
Much
Sure.
like, unfortunately, like Suicide Squad, as we heard today, right?
Yes, PG-13.
R.I.P.
It's all right, though.
Yeah.
All right. It's all right, though. Dark Knight was all right. Ed, shut up.
I hated Dark Knight.
So, I want to talk about the hype with this. I'm not jumping into it right away, but I want to talk about the hype with this. I have never been so geeked for a movie since Star Wars came out in December last year. Our first actual full review. I went to the theater. I videotaped me and my wife calling you guys on the video phone, saying how awesome we're excited. I messaged you guys afterwards. So excited. I was so excited that I started to illegally record the show, and I was going to show it to you guys, but I decided not to.
Can I ask real quick, actually, when you recorded that response video, or your reaction video after seeing the movie, you turned the camera to your wife, who looked like she was covering her ears, like earmuff style.
Because I told her that I was going to scream. It was fucking awesome. And she was like, okay, damn it. So she covers her ears.
Oh, okay. I was just like, I thought she was just like holding it in this kind of like in disagreement, just like, oh shit. I don't want to hear
Or
it.
kind of like Chris Hemsworth in this movie when when he hears something loud, he covers his eyes. Could be the reverse.
It could
True.
be, yeah.
So, as the fans already can tell, I am super stoked about this movie. Ed, you said that you really, really like this movie. I was holding off. I want to know what Eric thought. Eric, are you a fan of this movie?
So, with the build up to this movie, it was just getting shit on by a lot of different people. I mean, a lot of different people are saying that, and this is across the board from faithfuls who are hardcore fans of it, and from casuals who may have only seen the movie once or twice. They're just ripping this movie apart and like dissecting it piece by piece about what's wrong with it. And so I'm walking into this movie fully expecting this hot garbage that they're reporting on type thing. But there's the other part of me that says, okay, no, give this movie a chance type thing. As I'm watching this movie, and it keeps on going, I find myself more and more, like, enjoying this movie. And it's a pretty good movie. If you want me to just shorten it sweet, I enjoyed the movie. I remember, the first thing after the movie was done in this credits, I was like, okay, I actually like this movie. It was pretty good. Like,
Yes.
It was one of those where, don't get me wrong, it wasn't great by any means on my part. I enjoyed it very much. There's a lot of things I would change, but from all the build up and all the shit that was happening, I can see it, but geez, they're going a little harsh, like
They
that.
are.
And no, plain and simply, I enjoyed the movie. That's what it was. I would watch it again, even.
Oh, yes. I'm buying this on Blu-ray when it comes out.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this.
Eric, I'm gonna agree with you. Like, I went into this movie legitimately expecting a pile of garbage.
Yeah.
I grew up Ghostbusters. I had the toys. I loved Ghostbusters, and we had discussions previously. Like with Ghostbusters, 2's the one that you watch as a kid. It's a little bit more commercial, but then 1 as an adult starts to get funnier and funnier and funnier. There in this movie, it was shit on. I think not because of a gender thing. I don't really think that was the issue. I think even as we had all discussed, go in see this movie open-minded. Don't have any pretenses about the movie, and maybe they were looking for something to hate on, and then they saw these couple of little things here that they just destroyed and hated the whole rest of the movie for.
Yeah. Like they really took one thing and then they just kept on rolling with it, and it's just like because I don't know, it felt like they just wanted to hate this movie, and I really don't. If I could just sum it up real quick, this wasn't as much as a Ghostbusters movie as it was a Paul Feig movie. It was hands down Paul Feig movie, and I like Paul Feig movies. I think that they're entertaining enough to where it could be on HBO and you just leave it on, type thing. You get the laughs out of them. The jokes can be retold and reused and reheard again, and they would still hold that value to them. I enjoyed it, but Paul Feig first, Ghostbusters second in that. It's not a bad thing. That's just how I saw that movie. Entertaining all the same.
Yeah,
There was a lot of things
absolutely.
again that I think that they would change that I felt like for plot building and for to kind of just roll along, they was like, okay, well let's just throw a sentence or two here to just kind of wrap this up and we'll keep it going. But that's fine, you know. Just if we Ed, or Jordan, as we had talked before, this was a popcorn eater movie.
Yes. No, and that's the thing that I wanted to say before we actually pick this movie apart was I think, and I actually agree with Rotten Tomatoes from a critic score of 71%. This movie's not going to win an Oscar. Hell, it probably won't even be nominated for anything. Maybe not. But it was a fun popcorn movie. This was a better popcorn movie than Independence Day 2, which in reality, that should have been the popcorn movie of the summer because you're watching Independence Day 2. This was more entertaining.
Ye-
And
Comedy
you
to
get,
one, action on the other.
yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
we had talked about in our review that like Independence Day 2 was terrible.
Oh
It
yeah, and this is way
sucked.
better. This is way better than Independence Day 2 for me. But it's just the fanboys, they got the power with Deadpool, and now they're doing what every person in this world has ever done with power when they get it. They abuse the shit out of it. Hey, we have a voice because of Deadpool, so now we have a voice with everything else. And they need to shut their mouth when it comes to this movie and just watch it and have a good time. They didn't piss on the franchise. They didn't piss on your childhood. They remade a movie for a new generation with a cast that has really good fucking chemistry. These four women are perfect with each other.
Yeah, I agree with that, and they pay homage in all the right ways. You know, I luckily, I mean, I saw this movie. There was me and two sets of families, and that was it. So when all the characters in the beginning, when with Harold Ramis, the bust of Harold Ramis,
Right.
you know, it's just sort of snuck in there, and Dan Aykroyd, the cab driver, and Bill Murray, the ghost debunker, and Ernie Hudson being
The uncle.
Patrice's uncle. You know, could you have seen all that coming from a mile away? Particularly the uncle thing. You know, when he didn't show up until all of a sudden at the end he did. You knew that's what it was going to be, but
Yeah.
they paid homage, in my opinion, in all the right ways that you do in a movie like this. Knowing what you're getting yourself into, knowing you're entering a world, you know, much like how J.J. Abrams did with Star Trek. It's not so much. I don't want to say he paid homage the same way, but he changed the timeline of something that has a really, really, really hardcore fan base. And although I'm not trying to parallel Ghostbusters fan base with Star Trek fan base, you know, J.J. Abrams paid homage and changed the timeline, and at the end of that movie, you thanked him for it. Paul Feig paid homage in all the right ways in this movie, but it still stands alone. You know, I have a beef with the end. We'll get to that when we start tear the movie apart. But like, I really, really, really love this movie. I found myself, you know, I walked in, I was slouched in my chair, I had my popcorn and my bottle of water. I didn't want to get soda because you know I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight here, but not that the popcorn helped with that. But it's a movie and it's a popcorn movie. I knew that going in, that's why I bought it. But I think I'm really I give props to these guys. I really do.
Right. No, yeah, absolutely. Like and I don't want to ramble on about it because I do want to talk about this movie and pick it apart. But yeah, I mean, like I don't know if you agree with me, Ed, or not, but the fanboys need to calm down with this one. This
Hmm.
one's where it's at. So let's let's start with the movie, and I want to talk about the thing that my wife and I really was impressed with. The opening ghost, the opening scare, is so freaking scary. We were actually legitimately terrified. That story was great.
Oh
You guys
yeah,
want?
I mean, I thought maybe it took a little long to get there, but you know, and there's a lot of little jokes in there at the very beginning that are real subtle. Like had a built-in what did they say, a built-in Irish security fence, and
That was funny.
yeah, and when PT this is where PT Barnum decided he wanted to enslave elephants.
Yeah, that was good
You know,
too.
that that
Yeah.
that's I mean those are Paul Feig. Just that's him in a nutshell. Like that's his style of
Exactly.
directing.
It set the
You know.
tone very, very well for the rest of the
Hmm.
movie when you hit those first opening jokes right there too. Even like just the kind of the overall attitude and everything. I
Hmm.
even liked the part. I remember. I think my first laugh out loud moment was when um, Ed Begley Jr. Came to Kristen Wiig and was just like, "You got to come check out, the house or whatever." And okay, fast forward, and they go and they talk to the guy, and they're just like, "Yeah, who about the, I had the guy that came to me and said that Ed Mulgrave is I'll get the cast list." And it's like,
Mm.
yeah, he said this place is haunted, and the tour guide said, no, he's been dead for 15 years.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
I knew it. And then he walks in the camera and says, well, who's this guy? Oh, that's his son,
Yeah.
Elmo Graham Jr. Just like, you
Yeah.
son of a
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah. I mean, like that opening scare before we get to the Ghostbusters, before we get to Kristen Wiig, when it was just the guy from The Office. It's just it to me. It was legitimately terrifying when they tell that story about the old man and how okay, pretty much what happens in the beginning of the movie for the fans who haven't seen this yet. And again, major spoilers. That there's this guy in the beginning who's an old guy, who's a rich guy. He had a bunch of servants, and his daughter went crazy and killed all the servants. So then they put her into the basement and fed her, and pretty much until she died. So they had this tour going around, and then after the tour's over, the guy from The Office was there, and we had some awesome scares, better than any freaking horror movie. It was really, really great. I really like that opening.
And
Are you talking
I
about the
really
door handle
I
scream part? Is that what you're saying? Sorry, to cut you
no,
off.
No, yeah,
That's what it
yeah,
was, right? Where it screams and you're just like, holy shit! Like I didn't.
yeah. No, it was scary. It
The
was
jump
legitimately
moment.
scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was scary. I was shocked.
I
I was
really
really
like the
shocked.
line though there where we've been talking about that daughter's personality. What was it? Gertrude Aldridge, as I'm reading the cast list. When they said when the tour guide said, what was it? They said. God can never make a mistake, but he must have been drunk when he
Yeah.
built her personality or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great. Now I do call bullshit though, because it's not our job. Because it's our job as reviewers. So the guy from The Office gets. I mean, like we don't see what happens, but he
Zach
comes.
Woods is his name.
Zach Woods. I love him, by the way. Zach Woods is in the basement. He's completely trapped. The ghost comes out. We see a little bit of her. He screams. We go and build some character development. They come back, and he's still alive. So my question is, I thought the ghost possessed him, and that was the story that we were going to follow, like
Mm-hmm.
other ghosts possess other characters later on in the film. But it was like she rose out of the ground, he screamed, and somehow he got out of there unscathed.
The same thing
That's a
happened in the
little bit of
first
a fuck.
Ghostbusters movie, though,
Yeah.
in the library where the ghost did that, and they go and then the camera zoomed into their face, and then cue the opening credits, roll the theme song, and then the next scene you actually have Dr. Venkman and Aykroyd coming in there and talking to the librarian that was just like, oh yeah, freaked the shit out of me type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
So
Well,
no, I understand that part. There's a few things that if I can get into the problems about this movie too, is that again they kind of were just like people seem to be arguing about pacing these days, and it seems to be a lot in a lot of movies too, whether it be Independence Day 2, whether it be in the Warcraft movie, whether it be in the more popular Batman versus Superman, where a lot of people shed on that pacing in that movie too. But it came down to this movie as well, where if you were to compare it in the first one and two movies, you know that if they found green slime ectoplasm anywhere, they would take that and test it. And in this movie, they were just like, yeah, I got slimed again type thing. And so
yeah.
I would like to know a little bit more about that because it does two things. One, it lets you know maybe a little bit more about the ghost and what's going on. And two, it lets you know that these scientists kind of are taking the scientific theory and process a bit more seriously. Oh wait, everything's hardcore evidence. We got to take it for sample. We got to test, 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 test. You know, rather than just
Yeah.
assume it's just kind of like meh because meh.
I mean, I'd agree with you to the extent like you would as a scientist take that and rather than make YouTube videos, you try to find everything you could. I agree with that. But they took that slime as the slime was the running joke throughout the whole
Yeah.
movie
It was.
with Kristen Wiig. It was that every time they would encounter a ghost or something, she'd get slimed except for once, and they make it an end joke, and then I forget what it was verbatim, but it was something along the lines of every time, seriously, why does this so like they make that the running joke. I think that's probably why they didn't test it. I don't know, maybe they just considered that to be the joke rather than a crucial plot point or something.
Sure
Well,
thing. They could have
do
done
you know?
more with it, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I agree. I
Absolutely,
agree.
no, absolutely, because that's the one thing that I think that's interesting about our reviewing of this is because we said in our previous episode about how we loved how the Ghostbusters movies, original Ghostbusters movies, were kind of for adults and they had dry humor. This is nothing but toilet humor, so to speak. But I still
Oh,
might, but
It's
I
Paul
still
Feig
find my,
humor.
yeah, but I still find myself laughing though. It's still like entertaining. And what I
Right.
also like is Kristen Wiig is trying to be this, this respected professor, and she's trying to get her tenure, and then she has this dark past. And Melissa McCarthy releases their books on Amazon, and it's just, oh, it's
and then they make a queef joke in a PG-13 movie.
Yeah. A
you
lot of
thought that
people,
was, yeah,
a lot of people
yeah,
did not like that. A lot of people were shitting on that, just like, oh, queef joke. Just like, well, you know what? If you're gonna laugh at a fart joke, you can laugh at a queef joke, okay, buddy? Honestly, what it was, and yeah, it's Paul Feig humor, which means it's a lot of one-liners and a lot of reactions. That's
Hmm.
that's pretty much what it is. Almost kind of like how Judd Apatow was doing it in the early 2000s. It's just kind of the same way here, and it works. Like a lot of people hate on it, but it works. Again, the story is not the greatest. I get it, but if you're going in there for like it's a hardcore sci-fi fan expecting some sort of like thing to add up with your physics logic here, buddy, then Ghostbusters probably isn't the isn't the fucking movie for you, man. Like,
yeah. No,
maybe
yeah,
wait
it's
for like some
100%.
sort of Arthur C. Clarke adaptation here, or maybe chill the fuck out or something like that. It's just, yeah, it's a good fun time in the movie. There was a lot of the way that they did it too. The cut scenes, going into that too, where Chris Wick first gets slimed, and then she's going, they're real," and then suddenly it's to her on a YouTube page. It's going, they're
Yeah.
real.
And she gets fired because what the fuck's his name? Oh my god,
But by
Charles
the
Dance.
Yeah,
that I'm sorry, but that other professor that's her boss is the doctor from Alien 3. Sorry, nerd boner there.
Well, you
Continue.
want to talk about Alien 3? I mean, he's from Game of Thrones. That's the most important thing he's ever done.
Alien 3 is, but continue.
whoa, Last Action Hero.
Alien 3.
Ah, he was in Last Action Hero.
Yeah,
Yes,
he
yes, that's true.
played
He was
Glass
the guy
Eye.
with the eye. He was the guy with the glass eye. Alien 3. Continue. Sorry.
So a lot of stuff was going on with this movie, and when you go online and review a lot of the hate, the biggest part that I see everyone hating on is Leslie Jones playing I guess a black role, pretty much. People saying that just a loudmouth, just kind of a token black person, and just kind of doing all that run jokes, which frankly I didn't see it was that bad or anything like that. They were sure there were a lot of hell no moments, but it wasn't like
Yeah,
that's just Leslie Jones. Like that's just her humor,
yeah, and I'll be honest. I'm not familiar with her work. I am not. Um, I but she did, in my opinion, play that stereotypical role. That being said, I would not have known it had it not been pointed out previously. So, like, if I didn't know going in that she was going to play the loud black woman, I wouldn't have really recognized it. Maybe that's my own internal, not sort of non-biased. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not. I'm by no means a racist on any level. I mean, I think stereotypes are funny, but
Jesus Christ.
no, I'm just saying I think they're funny. Like I'm Italian. You think I don't fucking love spaghetti? Are you kidding me? And I talk with my hands. So I think stereotypes are funny, but I would not have noticed that had it not been pointed out.
I didn't notice it at
I
all.
agree.
I didn't see what people were talking about. Maybe it's because I'm in small town USA, but I mean, I did not see her play a stereotypical oh hell no black woman. I just saw her as a woman that was completely not at all a scientist like the other three were, who saw a ghost, who was freaked out, who got involved, and she would do the exact same shit I would do. I would smack any of you guys if you guys were possessed by a friend. I'm just saying.
I agree with
Thank
you
you.
though, and I think that more, if anything, she played more of the loudmouth New Yorker than any type of
Absolutely.
Okay.
ethnicity or anything like that too. That's
Yeah.
honestly how I saw it, and I'm just like I really because it's again like after seeing so many negative reviews, you kind of are sitting there waiting to kind of pointed out, waiting to see if these parts that people talk about, and a lot of them just didn't come up. We're just like, what?
No.
Or you're just like, well, that wasn't that bad. Like that wasn't. It seemed like everyone just cranked it up to 11 here, and what I saw was, a very mild like 2 or something like that. Just like, geez, it really wasn't that bad, everybody. Like the queef joke was quick and was just kind of, I'm not gonna say tasteful, but I mean, it was still funny.
It was as tasteful as a queef joke could be.
It was as tasteful as any other fart joke could be, whatever. It
Yeah.
was.
Oh, absolutely.
It got a laugh. It was a dirty laugh. Whatever the hell. Move on to the next one. And there was a lot of good parts of it too. And again, recurring gags, just like Paul Feig does. A lot of the Chinese food takeout stuff. That was
Yes,
always
yes,
consistent throughout the entire movie. You know,
yes. Could never get a wonton right. Could not get it.
a lot of people
Yes.
were complaining too about a lot of appearance of men in this movie too, about how they either played to be vindictive or they played to be dumb, or whatever else like that too. And I didn't really see that much either too. I mean, there really weren't a lot of male roles to be said in this movie, and any ones that there were, they moved along. And it's not to say that there weren't any other bitch females in this movie either.
To add on that though, Eric, I do 100% disagree though that it's bashing, because I think it is male bashing, but I think it's refreshing. And what I'm trying to say is that I've seen a lot of reviews of, oh, Chris Hemsworth is just a sexy male figure so the women can Google after, and the Chinese takeout guys is a stereotypical dumb guy. Well, we get that in how many years of films of your stereotypical bimbo, of your whore, all these different other female roles that we are come to know and to accept. So why can't the ladies have somebody to Google
I
after?
disagree with you
You
all
know
on
what I
this.
mean?
Okay, because first you have the tour guide, Zach Woods plays a normal tour guide type thing, a normal character for him. Ed Begley Jr. plays Ed Mulgrave. Again, small part, but he's just the owner of a house just trying to get some help. He wasn't stupid. He wasn't angry. He wasn't any one of those people they were talking about. It was fine. The dean of when they got fired from the Higgins High School or whatever, or Higgins School or something like that. He plays a regular just dean. He plays the angry dean, which we've seen many bosses behind a desk yelling at the person at the other side in a lot of different movies, whether it be male, female,
Well,
whoever. Yeah, I
he
mean,
did give us a lot of funny middle finger things to do now.
yeah,
Yes, that was hilarious.
exactly. And so I mean, and I mean the two Homeland Security agents. They were just doing. They didn't do anything that just seemed stupid. They didn't do anything to seem angry. They just seemed like two agents that were just kind of, familiar faces that just want to be part of the movie. The only,
Okay.
Hmm.
I'd say the
Hmm.
only people that really kind of stood out to be like that were Andy Garcia, uh, Bill Murray, and Chris Hemsworth. Those are the three. So you had your stupid, your angry, and your vindictive. Out of those three right there,
Yeah,
You know,
but even
who
still, like
probably had the
I
most
don't
screen time.
I don't see Andy Garcia being like the dick because he's a dude. Like the woman that's his assistant, the press secretary or whatever, she's equally as
Thank you.
mean.
You're right.
She's the she just happens to become the face of it when because it's one of those things, like, not that I'm trying to get into politics here, but let's just say, for example, there were ghosts in New York City and the mayor knew about it. Let's just say, for a highly implausible example, his job would be to make people not believe it, because it would cause mass hysteria. So he's saying, listen, we know you're not wrong, we know you're not frauds, but we're going to bash you. We're going to lie about you. And they do that throughout the whole scene, or excuse me, the whole movie. But that woman comes up afterwards and says, listen, seriously, what he said, he's exactly right. You're doing a great job, but we're going to lie about you. And adding in with Andy Garcia, I think they add a great homage to Ghostbusters 2 when Bill Murray and Sigourney Weaver are in that fancy dinner. They're at the fancy restaurant, and everybody else comes in covered in slime.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they're in this fancy restaurant, and here Kristen Wiig comes in, and she's not covered in slime, but she's having a hysterical
Ooh.
moment, saying you need to evacuate the city and blah 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 blah. This, it's not the same, but it's a nice homage. It just adds to
I
how much
actually had thought the part where Louis Tully was being chased by the dogs and he was slamming on the restaurant window.
yes, I didn't. You know
Yes.
what? I didn't even think about that till you pointed it out.
In the original
Yes.
Ghostbusters, Rick Moranis. For those of you who just need a memory jog, he was running from the ghost dogs or demon dogs or whatever. He was slamming
Yes.
on the glass window, and it was So I kind of saw that, and
The
Mm-hmm.
Ghostbuster lady that I loved the most. I don't know her name. I'm sure you guys would tell me. But the scientist. Wow, they're all scientists. The one that creates everything. The one with the yellow glasses.
Holtzman.
Kate McKinnon. So you have about four SNL characters on here. So Kristen Wiig, SNL, Kate McKinnon, Leslie, and then Cicely Strong, the mayor's aide.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's from SNL.
Yeah.
Okay. I loved Holtzman, by the way. She charmed me right off the bat. She was funny, she was clever, she was smart. I would fight with her every day. She is amazing. I loved her a lot. She charmed me right off the bat. I really like her. She did a good job.
Yeah, and you can tell that like that was probably a really tough character to play because it's real monotone. It's basically like she's reference the old film. I think she's sort of like a combination between uh, Egon and or between Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd because she knows everything, but she's like real monotone and like, why don't you understand this?
She's the kooky one-liner.
Yeah,
That's it. She's strange. She's off-putting. You can't relate to her too much, but you find her funny and appealing just because every so often, given the situation, she'll throw in that one-liner that will just be like, oh, okay, there you go, that fits in, and there you go.
And also speaking of one-liners, when Leslie Jones got me is when they went to the concert and the demon ghost was on her shoulders.
Yeah,
Nope. I'm going home.
that was actually
Going to
pretty
bed.
funny.
that
Nope.
was really
It's,
funny.
it's not happening. I'm just going home. Loved
Yeah.
it. Loved it.
I still
Loved it.
think I agree with one thing I can agree with out of all the reviews is that Chris Hemsworth was probably the funniest part in this movie.
Yes, he was hilarious.
No, absolutely.
The the best part, because all of us wear glasses, is he starts scratching his
Yeah,
eye. They're
he
like,
goes
"What?"
in through the lens.
And he's like, "Oh, I just got tired of cleaning my lenses because they get dirty."
Which
Oh,
headshot
I
is better
loved
to
it.
me? I'm playing a doctor. One me playing the saxophone or one me listening to it?
Yeah. And he holds it and takes a picture of him up to his
Yeah,
ear.
he's actually like has the
Yeah.
saxophone next to his ear.
Have you guys ever? This guy I knew for right off the bat was really, really good at comedy. You guys ever saw the remake of Vacation?
Yeah.
He's in that, and he plays that stereotypical
Oh yeah,
redneck
he was the uncle, right?
with definitely clearly a 12-inch cock. It was hilarious.
Yeah,
It was
he was pretty funny
yes,
in that movie too. It's one of those where he was good in Cabin in the Woods.
Oh,
yes,
I
he was great.
love Cabin in the Woods.
So
Oh,
I mean, he
so
was
he could do that. I
he's
mean, and
good.
it's good when you can do have range like that, where you can do both dramatic, when you can do action, and you can do comedy. You're gonna be just fine. You know,
100% agree.
and that's what everyone
So,
likes is when an actor is able to have fun and can do all that stuff too. That's why everyone probably loved Robin Williams. People why they love Jim Carrey so much. They can do all of it.
oh yeah, I mean, and that's why I liked him in this too, because I really find him to be funny. But one thing that's not funny, I want to know what you guys thought before I give my opinion, or maybe I'll give it first, is the villain. Now, originally, when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, you know what? The reviews are right. He was kind of a weak villain. But then I think about it over the weekend, and I think about it some more, and it's like, he's the same villain as the last two. He's just trying to control. He's just trying to release the ghost to destroy humanity. What's the big deal? I thought he was an
well,
okay villain.
well, he's. I wasn't a fan of him only because it was really generic, other than the ghost thing.
Sure.
It was a guy that was bullied and was smarter than everybody, and he was shit on by everybody. And then he's smart, and he understands the paranormal. He's a parapsychologist, but he's a janitor. Like he basically tells you at the his last moments as a live person, he tells you, "I'm smarter than everybody. I was shit on by everybody. I didn't get enough pussy." So that's why he does all that. So it's really generic that way. To call it a weak villain, I mean, he's just generic. It's not weak. It's not strong. It's just every other normal villain I was shit on. I'm gonna be an asshole about it.
I think it's one of those again where I'll go back to where it's just like, all right, well, whatever his foreshadowing could be, let's just wrap it up in a few parts of dialogue, and then get to the juicy parts, get to him doing his thing and doing the master plan type thing. So as far as like what motivation was, that was again just as you said, Ed, just in two liners right there. I was made fun of for being too smart. Everyone scorned me, yada yada yada. Well, now they're gonna see blah blah blah. So that type of thing. But again, you could have a little more development there. But I don't. Again, you only have so much movie. I understand that very much. So,
Yeah.
but what the takeaway is from the originals to this one is that this one focuses a little bit more on the comedy part of it, the Paul Feig aspect of it, rather than it being the actual plot building. Let's get these characters an introduction. Let's get this villain a more of a background and purpose. You don't really need that. They recognize this
No.
movie was just to be let's just keep it going, and again they did it. You know.
Now, see, I want to talk about the ending here because Ed, I know you said you didn't like the ending. I like the ending a lot because I felt the ending was definitely a love letter to the fans. Because you get the haunted carnival when he becomes a ghost and he really saw the ghost, and you get the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man again. That was fun. I got a smile on that. The only thing that I groaned was the Slimer family. I thought that was a little,
And
But
I agree with you on that one,
Fan
but
service. All that's
it
fan
moves the
service.
story.
All that was fan service.
oh yeah, 100% fan service. I mean, it was this groany, but really, I think. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Also, what? Okay, so please, guys, refresh my memory. In the original Ghostbusters movies, because I know people like to compare, so I'm going to be that guy. They did not use their proton packs to kill ghosts. They just used them to capture ghosts. But in this movie, when they're fighting an army of the undead, literally, they are killing them. Were you guys happy with that?
They with their proton packs they were not killing them. Because I made a point to look that out specifically because a lot of people were saying, oh, they used it to kill it. But the proton packs, what they would do, and I'm sure that a lot of people will either go back or agree or correct or think that, but they would take their proton packs, their guns, they
Uh
would grab
huh.
the ghosts and then they would throw them. So they wouldn't
Okay.
burst them into flames or anything. They would take then throw them. But
Okay.
when Holtzman had the new stuff, the grenades and the chipper and everything else, that would do different things. And so I can understand that just because those are different parts, different types of weapons. But
Okay.
and they would explode to like the slime or something like that. But again, this is where maybe you could explain a little bit more of the slime, the material that they're made of. Can they be rematerialized? The other part too is that like after they were done, they're walking over like dead bodies. Like the ghosts are like lying on the ground unconscious or something like that, and just like they're ghosts. Like they
Yeah,
can
but
they can fall through stuff. They're not just gonna lay down on the ground for you to step over.
well, yeah, but it's still. I mean, we're talking about like killing ghosts and knocking out ghosts. If you take out the reality of that neither of those things can ever happen, like I loved that scene as from a film perspective. Like, you know, yeah, a lot of people were shitting out that they were killing ghosts with the proton packs and stuff. Well, but those first proton packs that they had, like you had said, it just held them, and they were wearing them at the beginning of that Army of the Dead fight, and they weren't killing them; they were just holding them and throwing them. It was when they started to use the other ones
Yeah.
that it killed
Yeah.
them. So, but at the same time, I just loved the scene. The whole thing. That's when I said it before. I was on the edge of my seat. I was on the edge of my seat during that fight, not because it was a legitimate like in Game of Thrones when the White Walkers came and the King of the North in his army and the
Sure. So it's not like any
the
legitimate.
yeah, it wasn't like that, but it was one of those things like it's a comedy with a great action scene that they're fighting ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. But tell me what you guys think about. I'm sorry. Holston is her name. Is that right?
that's
Holston.
right. Holtzman.
Um. I really liked her new inventions. Like I thought they were really cool. Like I liked the double guns. I liked Melissa McCarthy's punch thing. I thought that was really cool. I mean, I liked it all. The only part of the movie at the end where I groaned, and it wasn't the ghost being shot in the dick. It was where Melissa McCarthy falls into that vortex, and that was some bad CG when
There was,
Kristen Wiig was trying to get her.
but then again, that entire last action part was, and this is again other reviews taking it from there, was obviously just them in front of a green screen, just kind of just
Yeah.
like, well, what do we do next? And then just kind of just like, yeah, like okay, let's just hurry up and get over here too. You know, we got a release date to get over here pretty soon, girls. Let's just let's get a few shots of this in. Let's keep it going type thing. So that seemed like pretty easy filming there from a directing standpoint, where it's just like, okay, girls, just go in front of the green screen, say these lines, do this little movement, and then cut. Let's go.
I thoroughly disagree with that point. I mean, yeah, from a director's perspective and an actor's perspective, it's sure just do this, 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 and this, and this. And we'll figure it out in CG. But how it came together, I fucking loved it. I mean, the vortex thing, that was stupid, and then randomly their hair's white after a couple of flashes or whatever. Like that was dumb. But I loved that fight. Like it was so well put together for me that I found myself just loving it and smiling. I was physically smiling.
All right, well, fair enough. I mean, what do you guys think of the giant evil Ghostbusters logo as the final boss? I say.
There's your throwback right there, because in the original first one, they had said, Zool had said, choose the form or something like that too. And Dan Aykroyd says, oh, I tried to make it soft and innocent. I tried to make it as cute and cuddly as possible. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Leslie Jones does the same thing. She's like, well, can't you be something cute and cuddly?
Yes, she
Mm-hmm.
does say that.
And
And
it's the manifestation of something that she suggests, that a Ghostbuster suggests into that. And he says, okay, so that was a pretty nice little throwback too.
yeah, but I will say that's the one I have about this movie is that fucking the logo is the logo. And they even throughout the whole movie talk about, well, that's not our logo. That's not who we are. Wait a minute. Well, who came up with that? Why'd you do that? And they had that. What is it? Bansky. Is that the name? Is I'm getting the name right?
Banksy?
They had that. Yeah, Banksy. They had that Banksy-esque character draw the logo. He's like, yeah, I saw a ghost. And you knew what he was doing the whole time. But and they say that that's not it the whole way through the movie. But that to me is the one place where they fuck up. They paid really well homage, other than the logo being the bad guy. You pick something else. I would have even, I liked what they did with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man being a fucking balloon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, what else could they have picked? I don't know. I'm not here to suggest that, but to me, that logo, you know how many people have that logo as a tattoo? You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that I don't want to call it a fuck you like a lot of the reviewers are saying, but it just that's the one hang up. I will say that. I will say that I have a huge hang up with that.
Well, see, now me, I'm actually totally different. I thought that was funny because you can't do Stay Puffed again as the big bad at the end. I mean, they just pay homage to it. So you have to do something else. And you have to do service to the fans, and you have to do something everybody likes. And I like the fact that they go with the Ghostbuster logo, but then they make him this evil kind of like, you know what he was to me? I was telling my wife this. He was Oogie Boogie
Thank you.
from Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, I'm sorry, Nightmare Before Christmas. Nightmare Before Christmas, I'm sorry. He was just a giant version of that. And I thought he was scary. I mean, I thought he was scary. I thought he was intimidating. I liked it. I did not like that reviewer that you sent us a YouTube video of that said, oh, it was stupid because they shot him in the dick. It is for women. Of course they're going to attack a guy's penis. Get over it.
It's a ghost. He
Well-
doesn't have a dick.
Well,
It's
the other
not.
thing too is that I thought they were doing it just because of something else, but it actually did an all right reason, because wasn't he holding on to something? Oh yeah, because the vortex was sucking him in, and so in order
Yeah.
to kind of distract him a little bit. They gave him a little cock shot there. It wasn't
Yeah.
like, all right, throw all the thing into his penis and then that will destroy him. No, it was just like, hey, we need to just kind of distract him for a little bit. So
Yes.
we'll just give him a little punch there, and then that'll fine. So like even that wasn't as bad. Yeah, it was just kind of
No.
like meh. I understand that they could have done something else, but
It was fine.
it was
It was totally fine.
it didn't bother me.
It was totally fine. What
Well,
you got?
unlike you two, I did have an issue with that. It just that didn't make sense to me. Like, number one, he's a ghost, so he doesn't have a dick. Number two, the whole reason why that guy, killed himself, became a ghost, and all that shit was because he didn't get enough pussy. So it has not. So even though it has to do with his dick, it you can't
He
you
wasn't using
can't
it
end.
anyway.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he wasn't using it anyway. So like, it's you can't use that really as an excuse to me. I I saw that. Not. I just saw that as that's the cop out. When you guys were saying about the green screen and all that, that to me was the cop out.
All
Sure.
right. Well, sure. I mean that's fine. I saw it differently, and Eric, I know you did too, and that's fine. And that's why
It
we do
just to
this.
me
So.
it seems like they couldn't come up with anything better. Like it was the first thing that they had thought of in in pre-production. I'm not saying I'm not suggesting anything
I
else because
agree
I
with you
don't know
though.
what else they could have done.
No, I agree with you. Like they could have had something drop on its head. They could have had like a building that I compete with you
Okay.
completely. They could have had something else suck in. They could have threw something threw a bunch of grenades at it. I understand that, but
Mm.
at the same time, it didn't bother me.
Okay.
Yeah, and yes, and I'm actually with Eric on that too. It did not bother me.
But
What
yeah,
also didn't bother me.
if I had a choice,
Yeah.
I would have changed it. Go ahead.
No, yeah, no, yeah. So of course they defeat the ghost, and now they are going to be still secretly. Well, they're now going to be secretly funded by the government to continue the research. They get their amazing firehouse. They get the car again. We get all the cameos, all that stuff throughout the movie. The one thing that didn't suck for me was my girl, Sigourney Weaver, playing a scientist. I loved it. I thought it was great at the end, and I was so happy to see her in it. I was really happy she was in it. Also, we forgot the Ghostbuster secretary is also
Yeah,
the
Annie
front desk
Potts,
lady
Janine.
at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So,
Janine Melnitz from my staff.
What do you want?
Yeah.
so I told both of you guys after I saw this movie, stay at the very end credits for a fanboy treat. And the scene is all the Ghostbusters are sitting around a table and they're listening to this recorder that they brought up early in the film, but we'll just continue on with it. And one of them says, "Hey guys, who is Zool? What do
Yeah.
you guys think
Mm-hmm.
of that? Do you guys like that?"
I
You
mean,
know,
this is supposed to be a franchise.
yeah, I don't think they did it right. I think it could have been like funnier. I don't know. Maybe I'm just nitpicking at this point, but it was well worth staying after.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it was a great surprise when she said, "Hey guys, who's Zool?" And I read some stuff on Google today, and the CEO of uh, who who made this? I'm sorry, was it
Sony.
Sony? Sony made.
Yeah.
The CEO said, "I don't care about the reviews. This movie's great, and we're going to make a sequel in the next 2 years. It's happening."
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm excited for that.
so far the Money Train is they've made back a third. It looks like so. It looks like the estimated budget was around 144 million, and opening weekend is around 47 million. So that's close.
That's not bad for opening weekend because they're going against the heavy popularized Life as Pets or whatever. That's just killing it right now.
And think about all the shit that has been talked on them for months.
And you see, that's the last point I wanted to bring up before we ended our show, and my thought on this. Bill Murray and all the original cast members was on Jimmy Kimmel with the new cast, and they were saying, if you guys YouTube the Jimmy Kimmel
Saw it.
clip, pretty much they were saying, I don't know why people think this movie shit. This movie's great. If I was the studio and if I was Murray and all those guys, I am a firm believer that any publicity is good publicity. Think about it. Everybody said this movie's dog shit. Don't say this. This is the worst thing. This is worse than The Room. This is worse than Baby Geniuses 2. This is the worst movie
There's
ever
no
made.
such. There's no movie
Ooh.
worse than The Room.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, but like
Yeah,
that's what the
Baby
fanboys were
Geniuses
saying.
franchise is
Yes,
amazing.
but they still made $44 million opening weekend. I mean, that negative publicity got everybody talking about it and got them
Well,
interested to go
people are
see
gonna go
it.
see it, and like they knew people were gonna go see it regardless of the reviews for it. But I'm just again, I'm surprised of how. You know what? I'm not because with all the negative reviews that I've heard from Batman versus Superman 2, it's just like I think people just like they I think they want a director or actor just to jerk off constantly. Like if it doesn't involve Christopher Nolan or if it doesn't involve John Favreau or or Wes Anderson, then it's just not worth fucking going to see. And it's just like, dude, chill have a good time. Like whatever happened, just go in the movies and just calm down. I understand movies are gonna suck sometimes, but at the same time, you shouldn't go into every movie thinking this is gonna suck. I did go in this movie thinking it was going to suck, but again, at the same time, okay, whoosh, take a deep breath. Uh, there are people there saying it was good, and so maybe something's there. I ended up enjoying this movie, and so that's just what it is. Like the movies aren't for you to go to every theater and just beat the shit out of them. You're supposed to go there and have a good time. So
Yes.
so do it.
No, absolutely, Eric. And you know what? You guys both said in the beginning of the show, and I said it myself over the weekend with you guys. This is a great popcorn movie. This is grab a soda, grab an icy, or in Ed's case, a water, and grab a popcorn. Be with your friends or your girlfriend or your wife or whoever, and your family, and just have a good time. Whatever happened to that? And I enjoyed the hell out of myself. And I think this is a good movie that you guys need to. I mean, the fans need to definitely see. And I think they need to judge it for themselves, not what fanboys have to say.
Yeah,
Personally,
I consider myself a very big fanboy for the first two. I loved them. I even watched the cartoons. Um, Yeah, if you wanted to compare, like people were saying, this plays more like the cartoon. Yeah, sure. This plays
yeah,
more like it's on its own. To be honest with you, it's again, like I said, I go back to what I said in the beginning of the show. It's a Paul Feig movie. Like that's
yes,
plain and simply what the hell it is. So
absolutely.
that's all I can say about it.
Absolutely. So let's get into our reviews overall and we'll close out the show, guys. So, Eric and Ed, do you recommend Ghostbusters 2016? Eric.
Yeah, plain and simply, yeah. I won't make this very long. I'll just say I thought it was enjoyable. I thought that if anything, you'll get a lot of mild laughs. You'll be mildly entertained by it if you were just not the laugh out loud type. I actually laughed aloud a few different times for it just because of how ridiculous and funny the people were. It was just good. You could tell like the people were actually kind of having a good time and just goofing sometimes, and it worked. I would recommend this movie actually. If anything, just to have your own opinion about it, not to actually read everyone else's reviews. Just if you love it or hate it, that's fine. But at least make up your own mind. That's what I'm trying to say. I would say watch it.
Absolutely.
Of course, watch it.
Okay. Ed, do you recommend Ghostbusters 2016?
I love this movie. Other than my issues with the end, we just talked about. I Number one, you have if you own the other two, you have to have this in your collection. Pure and simple. Um, but all in, I mean, this movie, if you love Paul Feig movies, will be one of your favorites. It'll probably be your favorite of all Paul Feig movies. Even those who love Bridesmaids, I think, if you go into this the same way we did as an open-minded kind of movie, this will be your favorite Paul Feig movie. That being said, I mean, the purists aren't going to like it. So it depends really where your thoughts lie on it, where you feel your views lie. But for the everyday person, the everyday fan, the the everyday moviegoer, and even my friends that aren't a part of this podcast that are film lovers the way we are, and probably all of our listeners are, um, I texted every single one of them and said, "You need to go see this movie." So yes, I do recommend that everybody, anybody that wants to, that has that has the time, has the ability to go see this movie. Would I say own it? I mean, it's a watch. I mean, as much as I love it because I'm gonna, that's just my thoughts on it.
I don't buy
But
movies
for
nowadays anyway, to be honest with you.
yeah, most people don't. I mean, would I tell you to go spend $25 on it to buy it on DVD? No. But spend the $6 and go see it. I mean, for me, I live in a small western Pennsylvania town, so for a small popcorn, a bottle of water, in this movie, it was $17.
There you go.
Well worth it. Well worth it.
Well, fair enough. And myself as well. Of course, I recommend it. I was the one that was boosting the hype train for the weekend for you guys. I think it's great. However, I am the 1% of people in the world that still buy Blu-rays, I guess.
Yeah.
So
With
I'm
with
gonna go
Netflix
buy.
and everything else, I mean.
Yeah, for me, I don't have patience. Patience is not one of the things that I am gifted with. So as soon as it comes out, I'm gonna go buy it. I'm
Hey,
gonna go buy it the
let me
day it
ask you
comes out.
a question real quick too, because I went to go see this movie in a relatively empty theater. I usually I'm going more now to like early morning matinees, just because
Yes.
one, they're cheaper, and two, there's like a lot less of a crowd, especially for new release movies and stuff like that. And it's like this is my preference way of seeing it. And so I saw this movie with maybe a dozen people in one of their bigger theaters too, so there was a lot of room. I had no people in my row, front behind me, and I had just a full recliner pretty much to myself. It was great. Do you think that
Okay.
this movie would have been different if you would have seen it in a packed house and you're going the reaction is off of the crowds? You know what I mean?
Absolutely, because
Because you
unfortunately,
could feel it. When a
yes.
theater likes or hates something, you could feel it in a theater.
Oh no, absolutely. My wife and I actually had a very disappointing theater experience because we went opening night to it was a 7:20 show opening. It was the first show opening night, and there was only two families there. And to go on that, the reason why I recommend this a lot is because of my wife. I watched her more than I watched the movie. I've never seen that girl laugh as hard as she did in our whole relationship. She was almost on the floor. That's how
But
hard
that
she
makes you
was
feel
laughing.
good, right?
Oh God, she was enjoying it more than Deadpool. So I'm like, okay, this is something. And we were We were only ones that were laughing because the two families that were there at the theater had a bunch of 6-year-olds and under, so they didn't really understand. So yes,
Well, they
if I
understood
saw,
the dick punch joke at the end.
oh yeah, so if I saw this opening night with a packed theater, especially with you guys, oh, I'm sure we would have had a blast.
I'm
But
I'm
yeah,
curious because I remember at leaving like Friday night, there was actually like some people dressing up, and they actually
oh,
one and because this is a real ritzy area over here, like in Birmingham, there was actually one guy had the replica car too.
oh, nice,
Really?
Yeah,
nice.
I wish I had taken a picture, but I drove past it pretty quick, and I was like, fuck, I should have got it. But they were like in the full, like there was six people, and there was four Ghostbusters, and then you know, like the receptionist and the Rick Moranis.
Nice. That's funny. That's
Well,
funny.
for me, I mean, I get really annoyed when people get super excited over fanboy moments out loud. Yeah, I myself am a huge fanboy, and like if I'm by myself, like I hate to say this, about it, but like if I'm watching like wrestling or something, and it's a Royal Rumble and Hulk Hogan comes out, or like this past Royal Rumble when AJ Styles comes out, I was like, oh my god, like verbally. So yeah, but when I'm in a theater, I just want to watch a movie. I want to watch it. I want to watch it in silence. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear other people laugh.
I
I'm kind of
agree.
an asshole about it. I'm kind of an asshole about it.
I'm the same
I
way.
don't want to. I don't want to hear other people laugh. I don't want to hear other people go. Like when all the other cameos happened in this movie. There was this one family. There was one. Well, there were three. There were three other sets of people. To say the whole thing was a family, I don't know. But there was me. Then there was a small family, a mom and a dad and a daughter right in front of me. And then there was like a mom and a dad, like six kids. And then there was just like a dad and his daughter. Um, the dad clapped like the last group I described. It was when the dad and daughter. Every time there was a cameo, the dad clapped like really loud,
Nice.
and the sense of family where it was like a mom and a dad and like six kids or whatever. Every time there was like a cameo would happen, it was like, oh my god, it's from the first one. Like it's like stop it, just shut the fuck up. So
agree,
I
man.
mean, to say I didn't have a terrible experience. They're doing what normal people should do. I'm just kind of pretentious when it comes to going to the theater.
Sure. Well, we'll see how pretentious you are next week when we review Star Trek Beyond.
I
So,
probably will be. And again, I'm going to be the only person. The theater will be packed, and none of my friends want to go because nobody likes nerdy movies like me.
well, there was only two movies I take my dad to the theaters to, and that's Star Wars and Star Trek, because those two he got me into. So my brother and I are going to take him this weekend. We're going to go see Star Trek Beyond, and also that's, of course, it's going to be our review next week as well. I'm excited for it. I'm like the one person in the world that loves Star Trek and
No, I'm
darkness.
excited for
So
it, man. This reboot for Star Trek is actually pretty good. I actually do enjoy the new Star Treks.
yes, yes. So I'm really excited for that, and we're excited to give it to you fans. But for Ghostbusters, we hope you guys like this episode, and of course, continue to download. Check us out on our website, movieguyspodcast.com, on iTunes, Movie Guys Podcast, and our Twitter, Movie Guys Pod as well. Follow us. We have over 100 subscribers now, so therefore we are Twitter verified, if that
Nice.
means anything to you guys. So there's that. But anywho. But thank you again so much for listening. And for Eric and Ed, this is Jordan, guys. Have a good night. See ya.